Hello, my name's Lucy. Welcome back to my channel. I share videos about mind-body approaches for long COVID, chronic fatigue syndrome, chronic pain, and other mind-body conditions. I also offer coaching, and in the new year, I'm going to be offering group coaching. So the information about that will be below in the description. So click the link to find out more about that. The video I wanted to make today is about reviewing your year. So we're coming to the end of 2023, which is hard to believe, and I think it can be helpful to recap on what's gone well over the course of the year, what's helped, what maybe hasn't helped so much. So this is what I'll cover in this video. If you want to pause and take a screenshot, feel free to do that. The purpose of reviewing your year is not to criticize yourself or to judge yourself or to use I should statements like I should have done this, I should have done that. The purpose is to think about what did go well, think about what was challenging and how you can work through those challenges so that in the coming year you will be in a better position in terms of your planning and your focus to do what's going to help. So there's a few different areas that you can think about. The first one is what has gone well. And this can be anything. So it can be related to your health improving, but it could be related to something else entirely. It could be that something unexpected happened that was exciting and new and unexpected. It could be that you managed to go to a family event that was a challenge to go to, but you still got to go to it. It could be absolutely anything. It's looking back on the year and seeing that maybe there were some positives, even though things may have been difficult as well. And these positives can be really small. So it could be that you made an effort to do some of the things you enjoyed, even when you felt really unwell or really awful. These positives don't need to be really big, but sometimes we can forget the positive so quickly because as a human, I think we're biased to look at the negative in situations. So then the second question is, how has your health changed? Specifically, I suppose, have symptoms increased or decreased, changed in frequency, intensity, in terms of the pattern that they show up, or have they changed from one symptom to another? So some people may have had fatigue that was really bad at the start of the year and it shifted to pain. All of these changes are actually positive. Your condition is more likely a mind-body condition if your symptoms are shifting and changing in intensity or frequency or pattern. That information can be helpful to gather so that you can have more evidence that this mind-body approach does apply to you. And even if your symptoms have increased and you generally feel like things have moved in a worse direction, ask yourself if there were any triggers outside of activity. So around emotions, around stressful events, difficult circumstances that you've been living through. Are there any triggers that you can think of that may be to do with your emotions or your thinking that you are aware of? And even if you don't pinpoint the exact trigger, it can be helpful just to reflect on the stressful events that may have had something to do with symptoms increasing. The next question is, what have you been doing to help symptoms, and what has helped the most, what has helped the least, and how have those things helped? So maybe you've started using a mind-body approach and you notice that reflecting on emotions has really helped with your symptoms or helped you manage fear around symptoms. So be quite specific about how specific practices or tools are helping you. This can be helpful as well in terms of reflecting on what's not helping. Maybe you've tried something in a particular way for a full year and it hasn't made a big difference. So it mightn't be that that specific thing is not helpful. Maybe it needs to be adjusted in terms of what you're doing, or maybe it's something that you can say, I've tried this, I've given it a full year, and I'm going to try something else now. So it depends on what it is that you're trying. But I think looking at things from an objective point of view about whether they're helping your symptoms or helping your mindset and how you feel, your well-being in general, it's helpful just to consider what impact these things are having. For instance, if you are measuring your heart rate variability, has it helped you have symptoms decreased? In what way has it helped you? Has it helped with feeling more calm about the situation? Or has it made you feel more anxious? So that's just an example, and I'm just putting that out there as an open question because it will be different for different people. And I've shared before that measuring heart rate variability didn't help me. If you're doing something that's helping you and you can see the result and you can see that with time things are improving, by all means keep going with those things. If something hasn't helped, it could be helpful to understand maybe why it hasn't helped. And this can be hard to do on your own, but if you're using a mind-body approach, it might involve reading some more information, asking someone to gain some clarity on that. I think it's helpful just to get some perspective and objective thought on what we've been doing, what our routine has been like, and how that's helping. So the next question is, what has been a barrier or a challenge in terms of your recovery? What has got in the way of you maybe practicing some specific exercises that you know would be helpful? When I say exercises, I don't necessarily mean physical exercises. That could be breathing exercises, it could be reflecting on emotions, it could be journaling. If you haven't been doing some of the things that you wanted to do, what is it that has got in the way of doing those things? So what's this barrier that could be holding you back? And try to be quite specific about it. Maybe the barrier was lack of motivation. So then it's thinking about how can you increase your motivation? How can you plan in that activity and link it with another activity so that you remember to do it every day? Like every day after my breakfast, I'll do some journaling and I'll leave my journal on the kitchen table so that I don't forget. How can you make it easier for yourself to do those activities? Another barrier could be quite different. It could be perfectionism has got in the way. And so maybe you need to seek some support for the perfectionism that's impacting your mindset. Because I think with perfectionism, it really can impact how we look at a situation, and we can sometimes see an outcome as a failure when actually it was just part of the ups and downs of the process, and we can give up or we can stop trying something because it's not possible to get a consistency of things going well all of the time. There will be ups and downs with probably any approach that you try. And what other barriers do you think might be getting in the way from you making progress? So maybe you're doing all of the mind-body approaches and exercises and tools and techniques to get better, but something else is really affecting you, like a relationship, or you have a specific mindset that you've worked on, but it's still affecting how hopeful you can be or how much you believe in this approach. It can be helpful to reflect on our beliefs, our thoughts, how they might be holding us back, how they might be affecting what we do on a day-to-day basis. What beliefs would we need to have to get better? Because we can't decide, okay, I'm just going to change my belief. But it can be helpful to think, how would I need to think in order to feel positive or more optimistic in this situation or trust this process more? So the next question is, what can you do to overcome those barriers? So I've touched on this before when I was talking about the barriers that might be getting in the way of progress. But be really specific about what you can do to change. What do you want to be different in 2024 so that actually some of these barriers are ones that you face head on and acknowledge and make a plan in order to change. And this can be very different person to person, because different people will have very different barriers or challenges to moving forward. But think about how you can invest in yourself in terms of time and energy, because your health is really important. And if you can get back to living in the way that you really want to live, it's invaluable. So taking some time to really think about how you can progress or how you can overcome some of those barriers that might be in the way of making progress, I think is a really useful exercise and use of time. So my video next week will be about setting expectations and goals for the new year. This exercise is really helpful in order to get ready to do that. So if you'd like to watch my next video, it will be similar in the sense of thinking about the year to come and how you can best prepare for it using a mind-body approach for improving your health. And I think with all of these things, it can be difficult to manage these challenges on your own. If you would like some support, understanding maybe what's keeping you stuck, or understanding how to overcome some of these challenges and barriers that might be in the way of you making progress, there's a link to my website and a link to booking a call with me in the description for one-to-one coaching. I am also going to start a group coaching session in the new year, and this will give people the chance to ask questions around their own situation so that you can stay accountable to the goals that you're setting, so that you can have someone give some feedback around problem solving for some of these challenges that come up, and to be part of a community of people who also have the same goal. If you'd like more information about that, click the link below. You'll find more information and you can get in touch with me if you're interested in being part of the group. So here is a breakdown of what I've covered in this video. Again, take a screenshot of this if you want. The most important thing is to take some time to reflect, and even if that's 10 minutes a day for a number of days in a row, that's one way of doing it, even if you have very little capacity. So you don't need to do it all at the same time. You could take one question a day maybe. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to join my Facebook group or follow me on Instagram, there's links in the description below. Thanks for watching, and wishing everyone a happy new year.